Next, we're going to look at sensitivity and specificity in a graph format. Now, if we look at this graph, we should be able to tell which side is 100% specific and which one is 100% sensitive. If you remember, previously we mentioned that sensitivity is needed to rule out a disease, snout, while specificity is needed to rule in a disease, spin. If we use snout, which is needed to rule out a disease, that means the patient is healthy. That means point A is 100% sensitive. And spin was to rule in a disease. So if we rule in a disease, then the patient is diseased, which is why point C is 100% specific. Now that means point B is 50-50. So if point A is 100% sensitive, that means that the patient is not diseased and is healthy. That means they're truly negative. When we say 100% specific, that means that the patient has the disease, so they're truly positive. Now, from point B, if we look towards the left, they'll be testing negative with this section representing true negative. And this section representing false negative. Towards the right, they'll be testing positive with this section representing true positive. And this section representing false positive. Next, what we need to know is that if the cutoff values are changed. So if we take this from point B over here and it shifts towards the left, so from B towards A, then there'll be increase in false positive and there'll be decrease in false negative. There will be increase in sensitivity, decrease in false negatives, and an increase in false positives. So as B shifts towards A, there is increase false positive and there is decreased false negative. And as it shifts from B towards A, there's increased sensitivity and decreased specificity. Now, if you remember, we also mentioned that when there is a decrease in false negative, there is increase in negative predictive value and a decrease in positive predictive value. Next, if the cutoff value shifts from B towards C, then the opposite will be true. B shifts towards C. As it shifts from B towards C, there will be decreased false positive, increased false negative, decreased sensitivity, increased specificity, decreased negative predictive value, and increased positive predictive value. Now, if you remember, the equation for positive predictive value was true positive over true positive plus false positive. So false positive is within the denominator. So when there's decrease within the denominator, the positive predictive value will increase.